Hi, I'm Jonathan. I wrote the first draft of this script over 2 years ago, but as you'll learn over the course of this video, this is an uncomfortable topic for me to discuss and puts me in a generally vulnerable position. I'm sure plenty of haters and trolls will see the video's title and immediately take it as some admission of guilt or failure. Now, I'm certainly able to put aside my ego and narcissism and admit when I'm wrong, but make no mistake, the issues I'm about to describe are not a result of blocking trolls in the comments or Jory and I's decision to retire the microwave show. The issues I'm about to describe run deeper than that and affect thousands of content creators with no sign of respite. So it's time I finally ask, where have all the viewers gone? I've built and maintained many channels over this past decade, and they've all been affected by similar declines in audience. But let's focus on my flagship channel, Jogwheel. Viewership here has all but evaporated, going from an average of 100,000 views in the first few months of a video's existence to barely breaking 20,000. On a channel with over 825,000 subscribers, that is a precipitous drop-off. I post a variety of high-quality videos across several genres, so we can't really attribute this decline simply to the content itself. The uninformed masses might be quick to suggest, bring back the microwave show, but that wouldn't solve anything. Indeed, had we not retired that show when we did, it would have fallen victim to the same fate, and instead I'd be hearing complaints that the show was run into the ground. When you listen to the mob, it's often a lose-lose situation. But when I do upload a new special episode of Microwave, why does it only receive 1/5 of its former average? If this is a scheduling flaw or poorly received content, that at least I could understand and address. But my content is consistently rated very highly. The problem runs deeper than that though, and affects all channels and types of content. Creators that were hot shit just a few years ago, like Epic Mealtime, Julian Smith, Mystery Guitar Man, Wheezy Waiter, Michael Buckley, Olga K, Mitchell Davis, Freddie Wong, are all lucky if they break 5% viewership against their subscriber count. I don't know about you, but I love these channels, and their content is better now than it's ever been. But that doesn't seem to be enough anymore. This phenomenon even affects the biggest channels on the site like PewDiePie, who has 45 million subscribers but only averages 3 million views. Plenty of people have given me shit for using clickbait titles, even though they represent less than 1/2% of my total library. But can you blame me? My top 10 most popular uploads weren't watched by 50 million people because I spent all week writing, filming, and editing them. They got there because I put some celebrity's cleavage in the thumbnail. I'm not proud of this, but when YouTube stops rewarding hard work, what other avenue is there? Only new channels with viral successes or those who rely on outside traffic like Reddit seem to be growing. I'm looking at you, Hydraulic Press channel. Does that mean all hope is lost for the older channels of YouTube who have been consistently producing quality content for years? Sure, maybe their audiences have matured and grown tired of the same old material, but why is there no recycle rate? Surely some of my newest viewers enjoy the content they literally just subscribed to and watched for the first time, right? So why isn't anyone watching? The best answers I have, based on the observable facts available, is that the community we all love and contribute to has simply become oversaturated. It doesn't matter how great SMP Films' last upload was, there are now hundreds of other channels doing the same thing. For many, this might just be an unfortunate reality, the slow slide of the receding tide. But for others like myself and my content creating peers, this site is a way of life. It is how we earn our livelihood. I certainly don't want to reduce this complex issue down to I'm going poor, but I also won't pretend that this isn't a serious situation for thousands of YouTube partners, especially those on the bubble of earning a full-time wage. One major and obvious culprit is the massive design change YouTube underwent in June of 2013, known as the one-channel layout. This switch to a cleaner and generally boring-looking UI also brought with it new algorithms that place a higher emphasis on watch time, incentivizing longer content while marginalizing anything under 10 minutes. The data doesn't lie. The Jogwheel channel saw an immediate 50% drop in viewership overnight the day that one channel was forcibly rolled out to every user. It's been 3 years since, and viewership still hasn't recovered. The other equally infuriating answer is that YouTube's subscription delivery system has been retooled in a way that favors newer channels. Recent redesigns to the homepage emphasize a rich get richer mechanism, promoting videos and channels that are already popular, or channels you frequently watch anyway. It is frustrating that despite my tireless efforts to improve myself and my videos, shows like The World According to John and Movie Night do much worse now than a couple years ago, even when the videos themselves are objectively much better than when they started. Seriously, I dare anyone to find a film review of mine from 2010 and say the quality, writing, energy, or entertainment is better than what I'm creating in 2016. Plus, when you visit youtube.com, you're no longer directed to your subscription feed, but a home tab instead, where YouTube haphazardly recommends whatever it thinks you want, instead of showing what you actually subscribe to. Clicking over to the subscription tab may seem like a quick and simple step to you and I, but for many more casual users, the behavior difference between these tabs isn't something they're even aware of. Another prevailing theory is known as subscriber burn, wherein if a user decides not to watch a channel's videos a few times in a row, YouTube simply stops serving them the content altogether. Forever. So good luck to my fellow content creators if you ever go through a rough patch or rebranding. Your viewers are gone for good, even if they never made the conscious choice to permanently unsubscribe. This theory explains why older channels suffer the worst. After 10 years on this site, the only way I can maintain my audience is if each and every subscriber watches everything I post. How's that for pressure? This discourages YouTubers from ever creating new or original content. If they take a chance on something different, as I often do, the end result is probably rewarding creatively, but ultimately it'll just bleed off more of your audience. What was once a reliable delivery mechanism that guaranteed your video would at least be put in front of every subscriber is now a meaningless and broken system that doesn't even give viewers a chance to decide for themselves what they want to watch. More than a third of YouTube's coveted top 100 most subscribed list is now populated by Vivo-controlled and YouTube-owned channels. This site was supposed to be for the little guy, allowing anyone to upload their own ideas and content. And once upon a time, that was enough for my friends and I to crack the top 50 most subscribed plateau. But today, the landscape is entirely different, and if you don't have a team of people, thousands of dollars, or a celebrity name behind your campaign, your only hope to one day rise to the top is to release the next viral video or sing karaoke with Adele in your car. Obviously, my fall from relative popularity has been difficult, and the constant reminders from haters doesn't make it easier. Not being invited to VidCon this year after never missing a convention really stings. And the painful truth is that since I'm no longer important enough to be invited, I'm also not earning enough money to afford the 5-day cross-country trip on my own. Indeed, in addition to the aforementioned issues, the growing popularity of AdBlock means my per-view revenue has dropped 80% over the past few years, making it harder than ever to do YouTube as my full-time job. So if you enjoy what I make, please support my content at patreon.com/JohnPaula. Just a few dollars a month makes a huge difference. Failing that, at least stay subscribed and tell your friends. It matters now more than ever. To the wonderful few who have already pledged, I can't thank you enough. But I am excited to officially announce I'll be producing a new monthly podcast for patrons only, starting in the next couple weeks. I've been creating video content since I was 14 years old, over half my life. And for the past 8 years, YouTube has allowed me to turn that passion into a career. Being able to support my family, doing what I love, is a real accomplishment and something I'm extremely proud of, even if it doesn't last forever. And the resulting opportunities, friendships, revenue, and viewership are all things I'm immensely grateful for. Besides my wife, YouTube is quite simply the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. My viewership may have gone downhill, but the only reason certain individuals point this out is to gloat like an asshole, to make themselves feel better for rubbing it in my face. So to this particularly outspoken minority I say, go fuck yourself. I'm happy where I am, and I love what I do, and I'm sorry you're too ignorant and jealous to understand that. But to my friends and fans, thank you so much for the support. To my peers, keep fighting and good luck. My name is Jonathan, and I hope to see you next time. In fact, I'm counting on it.